we have another church, which may be St. Demetrios. This has all been redone. As you can tell, everything looks almost brand new, including the painting above the door. This may be, I can't tell for sure what that is, but it may be Clement, particularly since this Via Mal, Svete Clement, is right across the street. So I'm going where it says 17 and 18. I'm going up that street to the left above it. All I can hope to do is go up and then turn right and angle across till I hit the wall, and then drop back down and find out where the lower gate is in the old city. I don't know what this is yet. Maybe it's a church, but I don't know which one yet. And off to my right here should be the wall somewhere. This is to the far right, but I'm going to have to go back and try and hook around, get in. Now this church on the left, the arrow points down, but that's not accurate because you have to go up to where I am. And now behind me, I'll try and go up a little higher and find it. There's an old Ford van. So here's the entrance, and we'll see if it tells us what it is. Bogorodica, 14th century. Over the door, some interesting old buildings nearby. So it looks like it's number 14. You can only pick it up from the Chelnica, which is found on the plaque here too. So my theory should be working. I should be directly above the lower gate. This may be as good a view as I'm going to get. Again, notice that most of this is rebuilt. Maybe the part where the cross is askew is not. It's all been restored, which is nice. I'm peering inside this old building, which is primarily used for storage, but what is interesting is this device there that may have been a baby carriage, the one on top. See the 4 little wheels, although it looks more like a soapbox derby racer. The one below for probably processing something, although I don't know what, but notice what a solid metal base frame it has. Around every corner seems to be a small church. And it's interesting that it's right near the back door of this building in its own pretty little courtyard. And the churches are somewhat maintained. What I wonder is, why so many little churches? Was it something to do with the steepness and or the concentration of people? More philosophically, does it reflect to the tolerance of slightly different nuances of the dogma that different people had, prompting priests who may have promoted it to build a church and have a following? Because notice, I just got up on these steps, looked up to my right, and you got it, another church. It looks like we've entered into a school environment. And again, the wall that I'm looking for should be behind another statue of St. Clement. More than 50 or 60 feet away, I spot this even larger church with what I think is a rather recent interment. Well, 1893, 1944, but well maintained. Appears they don't know what year in 1880 this gentleman was born. And this church appearing to undergo restoration. Do notice, in addition to its grand size, some architectural novelty. And we'll take a close look at each element that I see, just because that's all there is to see. The first is this kind of maze graphic, if you will, built on top of what looks like pretty much ordinary construction, except there are a couple of vertical pieces between the horizontal ones. Moving up here, panels of stone, probably that same building square that we've seen used for decoration. And then in here a little bit of chevron type of design. When you're reduced to these few materials, I guess no surprise that there's not much in the way of novel design. But while to me these designs of these churches seem very boring aesthetically, on the other hand, to them it reflects the consistency of their cultural designs and its recognition, giving them confidence and a sense of mental stability because of that design. Here the bell tower, the upper part looking very modern, and the lower part, probably the whole thing is relatively modern. It's all in wood, I assume, to protect it from the elements while it's restored. Nothing occurs quickly here. And here a very simple but lovely loggia. It's beautiful, if nothing else, because of the lovely flowers. The columns add dimension. That's all been redone, but one can imagine the faithful in their finery entering up those stairs. 1935. And haven't a clue so far. A nice wood carving. I'm sure not very old. This perhaps a photo of the artwork inside. Nothing that anticipates English-speaking tourists. Interesting to look at those bars because they certainly appear to be hand-wrought. I'm sure they are, but that's novel in today's world. So I could be at either 10 or 12. They're a little bit more interesting imagination with regard to the materials. On either side of that corner it's different. And here this arch window, and either just the walls or maybe there's even a fort up there, although I don't know what it would be. Don't know whether the tower also serves as the baptistry, but it has interesting exterior detail. Perhaps protected best because it's facing to the north. I'll pan the whole thing and then look at it more closely. Now that looks like a woman, and the other looked like a man. And maybe from that we can deduce that the Church of Saint Constantine and Helena. Saints Constantine and Helena. And my man behind me has something to sell that's in English, but otherwise I would probably not get any response from him at all. Okay, up behind that church it looks like I've stumbled upon remnant of the wall. And interestingly enough, this is where I was at the end of the day yesterday when I was at the upper gate, which is to our left. There's the church we were just at. And to its right is where that upper gate is that I was at. Here, remnants of what would have been rooms adjacent to the wall. And the wall on this side, there was only a small path on that far side of the wall, and the wall had not been restored. I'm hiking down here just on the chance that I can encounter more wall. And it probably continues down there somewhere, but probably totally unkept. So I'll look for what I can later on when I get done up. So number 9 is the Church of Demetrios. Number 11 is the Icon Gallery. Well, the map is very poor and extremely disorientating. But I think the only thing I have left to see is to walk up there and look closer at that wall. The old theater. What is this sign referring to? I mean, what direction does it give? I have no clue. I've seen this church sometime today, but I have no idea where it is, and these give me no directions at all. Retracing the steps I walked yesterday from the top back up to the top now in an attempt to find access closer to that wall. But it may be that that wall is simply a showpiece for the town, and there is no way to get up there easily. Again, they all appear the same aesthetically. I'm sure there's subtle design differences. This at least seems to be authentic without a lot of new construction, although when I say new, I mean to the point where the cement is visibly new. Here there is some evidence of that, but the center part looks to be authentic, and the stones do. This little building joinment here doesn't appear to be. And here in this newer part, the use of old pieces of wood, assuming it is new, maybe the cement was just replaced, for stabilization technique.